Hello, you are welcome to our lecture series on GIS. My name is Sheyi Fabi. Today we want to look at the spatial or surface interpolation. Spatial interpolation analysis is carried out on field data. Sometimes you have collected data from the field and you want to interpolate or you want to generalize the data over the surface. And you can collect the data from across the state or across a local government or across the national boundaries, and then you want to generalize the data across the surface. The data you collect can be discrete data or it can be a continuous data. You can actually collect data at a nominal data type, or you collect your data at interval, ratio, scale, nominal scale, ordinal scale, ratio scale, and interval scale. In any types of data that you collect, you can generalize them. The only thing is that you must collect the coordinate of the data, because what makes a data GIS compliant is that it must have the reference, spatial reference. Spatial reference is when you collect the X and Y coordinate of your data. And once you have the X and Y coordinate of the data, you can actually generalize it. For instance, we are going to look at soil survey on this. It can be any survey. It can be survey about household information. It can be health systems. It can be information about air sample. It can be sample about even the only thing that makes the data useful on a surface interpolation or spatial interpolation is that it must have spatial reference. It must have coordinate system. The coordinate system is critical to surface interpolation. Now, in this example, we have the data collected over 23 samples in a place in Ibadan, and the coordinate, the pH value is this. The iron content is this. Then the texture is actually ranked from 1 to 5. 1 to 5. 1 can represent very high texture, moderate texture. 2 can represent moderate texture, and loose soil can be 5. So you can actually rank it. So you have different types of data. For the pH value, you have data on the pH value, which is acidic is between 0 to 0.5, and then base is from 0.5 to 10. So you have the ferrous component of the soil, you have the soil texture, you have discrete data and continuous data types. So you can collect it like this, and then the coordinates, the location of the data are as follows. These are the location of the samples. And if you do, let's do, if you label features, the location of those sample, let's say, let's check the names of those samples. You can use the name to label the sample. And when you use the name to label the sample, you can actually see where the samples are located. So you can look at the name, label field, you can say, I want sample, so that you check the names of those sample. Let's change the font. So you can see sample 1 to sample 1 to sample 23. And then these are the locations, these are the coordinates these are the GPS locations of the coordinates. And then these are the data. We have put this one in our Excel. So the first thing you need to do is to save the data as a CSV file, or you save it as tab delimited file, because that's the kind of data that is easily readable in the that's easily readable in the GIS platform. We call it soil sample, and we call it CSV is comma delimited, but you can save it also as tab delimited, or as ordinary text file. We are going to choose CSV file, that's comma delimited. We save it. Make sure you know where you save your data, and you can click save. So you want to use the format, yes, and then you can minimize this and come back to the ArcGIS environment. We are going to use ArcGIS to do this surface interpolation today. The next lecture, we are going to look at how you can do surface interpolation using QGIS, and we may also look at how you can use surface interpolation in Idrisi environment. I said earlier on that we are going to use 3 software types to do our analysis in the GIS environment in our GIS lecture series. So now when you are in the GIS environment, ArcGIS environment, you can load the image so that you can identify where are the locations of those data. This is a map of Ibadan, and then we can see all the local government, These are the spatial distribution of the samples in the local government. So we want to bring in the data that we have just saved. That was a soil sample CSV file. We had it, and it has come here, the soil sample CSV file. This is when you come, you can bring in your data directly from the GPS. If your GPS has cable or has Bluetooth, you can transfer it directly to the GIS environment. So, but what we are doing now is we have collected your data, you have it in a CSV environment. You bring in your data bring in your data in the Excel, and then you bring it into the environment. You now say you want to join the data you collected from on the CSV that you have brought in as CSV. You want to add it to join it with the sample data that is the geographic data. Here you are joining the database with the spatial reference database. So what we are going to do is that we are going to use one as a base. You select this and you right click. When you right click, you go to join and relate. And on the join and relate, you click on join. And what is the field? It will ask you, what do you want to use? Which field do you want to use to join together? The field you want to use must have the same name in each of those in each of the rows. So here we have sample 1 to sample 23, and in this one too, in the soil survey, we are going to use serial number. Serial number is what we use as the soil sample here. If you look at this sample, the field name for the sample is SN, that's serial number. So you say you indicate that you want to use SN on the database to join sample on the map or the reference station. You select keep all records and you click OK. So it's going to join the map for you. So if you click, if you right click and you open attribute table, you see all the information about the serial number. You have this is the first sample, that is the name. We have sample 1. Then on the serial number of the database, we have sample 1. So the name will be, if you use the name to tie the data. And now that you have brought in your database from the Excel or whatever, it can be on Access, can be on any other, either flat file or spreadsheet file or any database file, you can bring it into the GIS environment and you link it with the common reference rows. And then when you are done, after you are done with this, then you are ready to do your surface interpolation. We can do our surface interpolation with the pH value. We can produce a map or image of pH value of the local government or the ferrous content of the soil or the soil texture. We are going to look at the pH value first. Now you have joined the two data sets, that is the reference data containing the GPS locations and then the database from the Excel, the one we saved or exported as CSV file, that's comma delimited file. Now you have this is a data set for the reference data. We have sample and then you use the SN on the data set to join them. Now you are good to do your analysis now. We are going to start with, as I said earlier on, we are going to start with the pH value of the data set, and then you can go to, you can type interpolation on the search button, and it will give you all the types of interpolation. You have different types of interpolation, surface interpolation that you have. You have area interpolation, but we are going to use IDW, which is the point. We want to convert point to surface. We want to generate a raster data, the image, the raster data resolution about the surface using the point data. You use IDW, and that's a 3D analysis using point, converting point to data set, to converting point to surface interpolation. So this is very, very good because it's going to use the natural aspect of the image to natural of the point and the way the natural occurring of the point to generate your data for you. So this is what we are going to use, IDW. So we are going to use, let's use Kriging for now. We can use Kriging, or you use IDW or the spleen. Let's use spleen. There are different types of different types you can use, but we are going to use the one with barrier. The one with barrier and the one without barrier. The difference is that you can use something like a barrier to separate, to demarcate or to delimit the surface interpolation. Let's pick this, and then it will it's just this, not the one we are looking for. IDW. Okay, we pick it. So input features, we are going to put sample, that is the features. Then what is the Z value? The Z value in this case is now pH, that is the pH value. The output raster, you are going to select where you want to put the output raster. The image that will be created or the raster data that is going to be created, we are going to locate the place. You can say Ibadan pH value or Ibadan pH and say okay. Then output cell size, you can leave it as default. This barrier, you can indicate that you want it to have a barrier. Having a barrier means you want to ensure that your data is limited, that it's not just going out of nowhere. If you have image that you can use now, we can actually get image to do the boundary of the data, but I don't have anyone for now. I don't have anyone for now, but we can, if you get image feature, you can use as boundary. So you can now have, you click OK, and it's going to give you, it's going to work process after some time. It's already here. So we are waiting. Here we go. This is the pH value. And this is how we can generate. You can change the color so that you can see the variation in the color properly. So you can see the surface image. It has generalized the data collected at this sample point over the area. You can put the boundary of the local government on it so that you generate. Maybe you just put make it Ulu, and then you can label the local government, and now you have the surface, interpolated surface. The data can be discrete data, it can be any form of data set that you can use to generalize your information across the surface. Watch for the next episode of this lecture series, where we look more on different options of surface interpolation. Thank you. We are going to have look at different other form of surface interpolation in the next lecture. You can subscribe to our lecture series, and you'll be notified when the new lecture series come on board. Thank you.